Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's live event. It is called How Top 10 Ways to Grow Your Influence. So, in order for us to really know how to grow our influence, we first have to really know what is influence or what do we think influence means. So, for me, I'm going to tell you what I think, and then you can just drop in the comments what it is for you, and we can have a conversation and see where we're at. Maybe we can learn from each other. So for me, influence is our ability to lead. So when we have the ability to get somebody to buy into our idea or our methodology on how to do something to achieve a goal above and beyond their own way of doing it, that's influence. That's leading somebody. So it doesn't always have to be a conscious choice. Sometimes we operate just out of like, yeah, that feels right. And it's a subconscious thing. But we all naturally have within us the desire to want to control our environment. But because we live in a mutually dependent environment and world, a mutually dependent world and universe, we have the ability to influence and be influenced by others. And the closer they are to us and the closer we are to them emotionally or physically, will have an impact on the amount of influence that we have over them. So we do have to be mindful and aware that people are always watching. Somebody's always watching. So if we want to establish that influence and we want to be able to continue to progress in our level of influence, then we have to make sure that our actions match our words at all times. Because if you are one way with one person and a different way with another person, that's going to diminish your credibility and that will undermine your influence. So let's get right to the nitty gritty. Top 10 ways to grow your influence. For me, number one is to add value. So you have to be of service. And how can you be of service? Well, you are of service by being the example. So you do unto others. You talk to someone the way that you expect to be talked to. You treat someone the way you expect to be treated. And so by doing that, you're going to be modeling the behaviors that you want to influence others to follow. So for me, it's very hard not to interrupt. I'm an interruptosaurus. So if I want to have people not interrupt me, then I have to model that behavior. So it's a work in progress, guys. I'm not sitting here telling you that everything is hunky-dory and I've got everything figured out. No, I've just figured out that when I fail, I want to fail forward and let my stumbling blocks be your stepping stones. So that is how I choose to be of influence. Maybe let you guys see how I feel so that you can go, oh yeah, that's not how I want to do it. And you can go and grow through it. We can grow and learn together because I'll take your feedback and that'll help me grow. And you as well can take my inspiration. Hopefully it helps serve you in some sort of way. And if it does, please let me know in the comments. Another way, number two, is to avoid bad influences. Now, people are magnets. And we are going to, I don't know if you've ever heard, your vibe creates your tribe. Very true. So the more and let me just preface this by saying, you don't get out of life what you want. You get out of life what you focus on. So when you focus and you give off that vibe of drama, it's going to come. It's going to come. 9 times out of 10, you will not be able to avoid it because you're putting off that vibe. So don't draw that to yourself. Try to keep your mind in a positive headspace. And how you can do that is by eliminating toxicity. So people that gossip, skedaddle. People that demean other people, skedaddle, go. No time for you. People that sabotage others. So don't think that because you are following the leader, be careful who you're letting influence you, because if you are not influencing, they're influencing you. And what ends up happening is you undermine your own credibility if the leader that you're following is not one of true integrity. I mean, they can say the words, but if their actions don't match the words, that's not the leader that you want to follow. So set the tone, and then the people that are toxic, put them to the side. But I will say, number 3, building upon something positive, you want to use your superpowers of influence for the greater purpose and the good. So you can take those people, I'm not saying eliminate all the bad people and the toxic people, but use your influence to change them and bring them over from the dark side. And what do I mean by that? Don't fall into their gutter. It's tempting. Guys, it is tempting. I can tell you, I am one that constantly has to battle with that, because I take it as a challenge a little bit, right? When somebody challenges or throws the gauntlet, so to speak, I want to like, oh, no, you didn't. I want to like grab it and just run with it, and let's see who can do this. But a very wise person told me once, very many moons ago, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? So sometimes it's not about, yes, you're going to stand on your moral ground and go on your moral high horse and go, yes, well, I'm right on this one. But sometimes you just have to step back. Don't go into that gutter with that person. Step back, step into your power, and just say, you know what? No, I'm going to teach them that I'm above that I'm not going to go down there and play in the dirt. They got to climb up and talk to me up here. This is where they need to be. I don't need to be down there. They need to be up here. So that's how you can start to grow your influence as well and fall out of that trap of toxicity and feeding into that stuff. No, you don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Mm-mm. So number 4, build the relationship. So when you nurture the relationship, you nurture and you build credibility. So the key is, and I have such a beautiful example to give you on this one, so you're going to have to indulge me a little bit. Well, you don't have to, but I'm going to ask for you to indulge me a little bit on this one. And it is when you can guide or lead someone, inspire someone to do something because they want to, not because they have to, that's influence, that's leadership. And the example I was going to give was my abuelito, my grandpa, my dad, as I called him, Americo Torres Gonzalez. He was, God bless him, rest his soul. He's the best man I've ever known in my whole entire life. I swear, if you had the pleasure and honor to meet that man, he was pretty special. He was that and more. So, but I would say he led because I would break my everything to please him, to be able to show him and make him proud. Like I would study to get straight A's, not because I was afraid I was going to get a beating or I was going to get this taken away or I was going to not get some sort of reward. No, my reward was to see him be proud, to see him beaming, to see him be happy, to see him and hear him say, there goes my granddaughter. Oh yes, that's my girl. That was worth more to me. And if I ever did anything that was not pleasing to him, he didn't have to yell, he didn't have to punish, he didn't have to scream, he didn't have to do anything other than look down and say, I expected more. And oh my gosh, I mean, that was enough for me to like straighten up my act. That's the power of influence. That's who you want to be. You want people to follow you and be inspired by you, not because of fear, not because of have to or if not, or the what or else. Not that. That's not influence. It's because you inspire them to do more, want to be more. That's leadership. Number 5 is handle your emotions. Oops, sorry. Handle your emotions. Hold your temper in. And again, that's something that I have to work on. I'll be very transparent on that one. Handle your emotions. Avoid temper tantrums. Avoid knee-jerk reactions. I'm a big knee-jerker person, but let me step into power on that one and say, I used to be a knee-jerk person, and now I'm working on not being so much of a knee-jerk person. So I want to grow in that area. I'm actively working on that. Is that something that you struggle with too? Let's talk about that. Let's see how we can help each other get through that hump, because I know that's a toughie. That's a toughie. But above all, we don't want to crush anyone's spirits. Don't be a dream buster. Just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean that they're doing something the wrong way. And when you lose your temper with someone is something that I wanted to kind of put it out there, put that little nugget in your head. When you lose your temper with somebody, that is the moment that you gave them influence over you. That is the moment where you gave up your power. That is the moment when you gave up your control. So watch how you react. If somebody like tap dances on your last nerve, what are they teaching you? That is a teaching opportunity. What is that teaching you? You can take that, take a breath, refocus, regroup, and what is the goal? What is the goal at that moment? Is it to get into a fight or is it to solve a problem? So that's how you start to learn how to manage that adversity at that moment. Number 6, have clarity. Be able to not just articulate your position as to what it is, the task that you want accomplished, but why is it that you want that task accomplished and in that way? And more important, how will doing it your way serve others, meet their needs, and help them have some impact? How are their needs going to be met? That's very important. If you have everything just be about you and the way you want things, that's not going to necessarily lead you to have any influence, because people are going to see you as a bully. Do you want to be seen as a bully? I don't. No. Number 7, be consistent. It creates a very strong reputation about dependability, being genuine, having your actions match your words, having your attitude at all times in the same, whether it's in the virtual world, with social media, or when you meet someone on the street. Don't be fake. Don't be like the pretty, oh yes, I'm so cool on the internet. And then when you meet them in person, be aloof or treat them wrong or think that you're above them or treat anybody like they're below you. Nobody's above you. Nobody's below you. You're not above anybody. You're not below anybody. We're all equals. We're all in this journey called life together. We're trying to do the best we can. And you know exactly zero about what anybody's going through. Exactly zero. So have a little bit of grace. And you build that influence when you build that relationship and you show how much you care about the person, where they're at. They don't need to change anything or be anything more. They are enough. And you love them where they are. And they will learn to have that trust in you, which is number 8. When you build trust and you're going to be building that influence. That is, when you build your trust is when you keep your word. It's when you go to bat for somebody, when you show that you are a person that stands on principles and morals and values that match the other person's, not that are in conflict with them. When you have a shortcoming, explain what it was. If you made a mistake, own up to it. Don't make an excuse. Don't, oh, well, so-and-so didn't do this, so therefore I didn't do that. Own it. And that shows that you have a backbone. That shows that you have accountability, that you have high standards, and people respect that and they respond to that. So don't be afraid to fail. If you do fail, then get up and let people see that. Let people see you get up. Let people see you be accountable. Let people see you be responsible. Number 9, be a master at the art of listening. Listening, that is so important, because people, when they feel heard, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they're going to be more inclined to be receptive to your ideas. And at the same time, because you spent that time listening to them, you're going to know what resonates with them. What exactly is the way that you can present things in a way that aligns with their core values. And that way, you're both working towards the same goal. And number 10, and I'll leave it with this because I know I'm taking some time from your families, and my game is not to do that. As a matter of fact, next time, bring them along so that everybody can learn together. This is definitely a family activity. The number 10 is understand that influence does not have to equal winning. The goal is not, when you influence somebody, is not to win anything. The goal is to solve a problem. The goal is having a long-term impact. When you have that, that is leadership and that is influence. And that has been this week's Moment of Clarity. That is today's topic of the top 10 ways to grow your influence. Next week, we're going to do top 10 ways to face rejection. So definitely bring the family, bring some friends. Let's have a good time and chat. I already set up the event page so you can RSVP. If you don't have time to catch it on the live, that's okay. You can just RSVP going so you can easily find the link the next time and then just catch the replay. And definitely, if you find some value in anything that I've said today, drop it in the comments so we can have a conversation about it and see how we can help each other grow. Until then, have a beautiful evening and I love you all.